Kit Byatt. I'm a consultant geriatrician in Hereford County Hospital.
I'm from the University of the Philippines.
I work in the Evidence Centre at BMJ.
I work for the Academic Health Science Network in Oxford.
I'm a biology teacher by background. I work at Lingfield School in Surrey.
Well, it's been a fantastic 3 days. We've had nearly 400 people from many countries around the world engaging in the debate about how we can produce better evidence for better decisions in healthcare. And I think we recognise we've got enormous problems ahead of us. We're beginning to be much more honest about what those problems are. And I think what was really good about this meeting was the beginnings of more talk about solutions.
The medical literature is a huge nuisance of significant results. A couple of months ago, we published that paper in JAMA where we literally text mined the entire PubMed since 1990. 96% of these abstracts and 96% of these full text papers, whenever they had p-values, they had statistically significant p-values. And all of them, more or less, claimed that they had something novel to say. Discovery is a nuisance. We need something different. We need something that is useful, not just something that is statistically significant or is a claim for discovery.
I kind of hear about all these things that people want to edit genes for. And I'd actually like to edit the genes of researchers and scientists. I'd like to make them more generous. Even amongst the people who are debating what they should be, generosity very rarely comes up. But I don't think just changing things like incentives and so on is actually going to get at this issue. This is a sort of a cultural issue and a social norm one that goes beyond that.
About this time 20 years ago, my journey into evidence-based medicine, what caught my attention was the evidence-based bit. And in that journey, I've learned that what we really want from evidence is for it to be trustworthy and to be useful. The application of evidence in a raw way to a person like Maria Luisa doesn't seem to care for Maria Luisa.
Victor had a really soft but really powerful message that our patients don't always know what is the right thing to do. And we don't often spend enough time telling them and checking that they actually do understand.
But I think what we're seeing now is this shift, firstly from evidence to evidence for value. Secondly, to think about the Gates question, what is the function of the human being in the digital age? So we're starting to see now evidence plus empathy.
Balanced communication and numbers. Now, that's what I'm really concerned with. I love numbers. I think number abuse should be a criminal offence, with the Department of Work and Pensions being serial offender in that way. Every number you hear in the news, somebody's either trying to make it look big to frighten you or look small to reassure you. So let's look at an example of that, bit of bad risk communication, terrible risk communication. Standard one from last year, bacon, ham and sausages have the same cancer risk as cigarettes, warn experts. No, they didn't, and no, they haven't. But never mind, that's what the bad bit of risk communication by WHO was interpreted, at least by some newspapers.
One of the things we were trying to achieve specifically this year was about communication of evidence, and we know that there are plenty of examples where it's not done well. So we thought by including a number of speakers who have researched the topic or write about the topic, we'd be able to convey that message better through the conference. What the last session showed alone was just how important it is to communicate risk properly, how we can confuse patients, how we can misinterpret information, and how that gets disseminated to the public. So there's a real drive, a need to disseminate, share that information properly.
This is a crowd that certainly understands how the sausage is made. Getting different perspectives from journal editors, from people who actually use this evidence, from doctors who are treating patients. That only enriches what we do and makes us into better reporters and makes us more useful, hopefully.
I'm very optimistic. Despite a pessimistic message of my lecture, I think that this means that there's plenty of room for improvement. And there's plenty of people who are interested and are really investing a lot of effort and thinking about how to make things better.
By involving teachers in conferences like Evidence Live, actually we can shift the great discussion that's been going on here back into the classroom and start engaging our students in something like this.
We're going to go away now and write up the Evidence-Based Medicine 2.0 agenda. And that's going to be a manifesto, EBM 2.0. So watch this space, and that manifesto is going to set out these critical issues that have caused problems in the past that we now work towards the solutions.
If you want to keep abreast with what we're doing, follow us on Twitter, tune into the CBM website or the Evidence Live website and get updates about what's happening both after this year's event and for next year's event.
This is a winner. We want bouncy castles next year as well.
I'm going to pinch this idea for the stuff that I do. I think it's a really, really nice idea.
Every scientific conference should have an ice cream van.
Exactly.
I'm sure there'll be some kind of randomised control trial to prove this in future years, but we're the guinea pigs.